T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Coach on Fire Radio.
That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Now that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Let me tell you, damn guys ain't dumb. Maybe get a blister on your little finger. Maybe get a blister on your thumb. We got to install microwave ovens, custom kitchen deliveries. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs.
All right. Good morning, champions. Hey, I know it may not be morning where you are, but honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what time it is when you have any time left in the day. So when I say good morning, I want you to think of it like an attitude, right? There's plenty of time left in the day to get some stuff done. So welcome to Broke is No Joke radio show, where teens and tweens are going to learn more about money, wealth, and freedom than even your parents know. Of course, unless your parents are listening, right? Which definitely they're welcome to, and I highly, highly encourage them to do so. My name is Josh Zeppis, and I am a freedom fighter. I am principal and broker and founder of Lifesaver Leadership Development, and I'm glad you're here. So this Spanish magician gets up on stage, and he says, for my first trick, I'm going to do disappearing act. And he says, all right, I'm going to disappear on the count of 3. And he says, uno, dos, and then he disappears without a trace. I hope you got that one. If not, you'll probably get on the way home. But that was funny. But you know what? Being broke isn't. So I'm excited for you, and we have a great show planned. We have an amazing guest that we're going to bring on later in the show, so stick around for that. We've got some contests and some challenges. We're going to have a really, really fun time. But first, I just want to commend you for being on the show. I want to commend you for listening. I want you to know that really you are the champions. So you could be watching TV, you could be playing video games, you could be doing a host of other things that don't improve you, your schooling, your business if you have one, your career. And for that, I am honored. And I take this responsibility very, very seriously. I promise it's going to be worth your time today. I promise it's going to be worth your life. And hopefully you guys know that time is actually life. Those are the 2 commodities we cannot create any more of. So I definitely don't want to waste your time, because wasting your time would be wasting your life. So we're going to make sure we use our time very wisely today. And as always, all I ask is you start with an open mind, right? Take the good, toss away the bad. One of my great, great mentors in business always said, Josh, there's nothing that's all good and nothing that's all bad. Take the good, take the golden nuggets, and just toss the rest away, right? It's okay. So I'm not looking for you to agree with me necessarily, and I may not always be right, but together we can challenge each other, right? Which only can make both of us better in the long run. So join the group on Facebook, right? Become part of the conversation. Go to our website at brokeisnojoke.org and participate, right? I want this to be more than just a radio show. I want this to be a place where we can really, really grow together, because that's how it's going to work in life. You're going to find out later on, if you're a teen or tween listening to this, that we're going to win together or we're going to lose together in life, right? So let's go ahead and win together. And finally, I want to ask your permission. If you're a teen or a tween listening to this, I want to ask your permission to talk to you like an adult. You know, I believe sometimes us adults treat you like you have no clue, but I know you have ideas. I know you have creativity. I know you have persistence, intelligence, mental toughness. And personally, I think you can handle it. In fact, I believe kids are smarter than adults. And I think kids are more, especially teens and tweens, they're more geared for success in life than adults. And by the way, I could prove this. I'm not going to go into it today, so that'll be for a later show. But I just wrote a book on it this year on this exact topic. But here's the thing. No matter how much potential we have or how smart we are or how geared for success we are, without the right information, without the right knowledge, without the right awareness of what's going on around us, we're never going to reach our potential. So we're going to talk for real, right? This is going to be a real show. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. It's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows. We're going to talk the real deal because, like I said, I think you guys can handle it, and I think you guys want to learn this information, right? You want to be successful in life. You want to do better than your parents. And so it might get a bit controversial, right? And that's okay. But as long as we're honest and genuine in our discussion, no topic should be off limits. Now, will it sometimes sound a little cuckoo or weird? Or you're going to be like, Josh, what the heck are you talking about? This is like, I've never heard this from parents or from my friends, and everyone says something different. Yeah, probably. But I want you to remember something. You can be weird and rich, or you could be broke and cool. And the choice is going to be yours. And by the way, I do encourage you. I just want you to understand. So this is going to be geared for teens and tweens, but I want to encourage you to get your parents to the radio as well. It's funny. Most parents say their teenagers think they know it all, right? And everyone, I can see all the teenagers right now, everyone on the show, everyone's listening in, like nodding their head, right? But here's the funny part. If you listen to the show long enough, you probably will know it all. Well, okay, at least more than your parents. Not that your parents would ever believe you or admit it, right? So definitely get them the radio. Let them hear it from me. Let me be your advocate, right? And look, I know you don't want to hang out with your parents. I get it. But for 45 minutes or so, give them a shot, right? You may not always like them, but let's be honest. They are the reason why you're here. So let's have a bit of gratitude. And, while some of us no longer have parents, or maybe we have a deadbeat parent, but a lot of us do have parents that we know deep, deep down actually do care about us. They're working hard, maybe 2 or 3 jobs, constantly stressed out about money. They're fighting over money, right? It's causing medical issues. And it's just because they've never learned those things that you're going to learn on this program over time. Okay? So right now, honestly, they need your help. I just want you to know that we have a responsibility to help your parents. Bring them to the radio, give them a chance. Because you know what happens when we get to grow together as a family and money is not the biggest stress anymore? Teens, you all become better teens. You become better people. Parents become better parents. Because when you're stressed about money, you're just not yourself, right? So, and by the way, if that's not convincing enough, I'm going to give you another little thing. If you think you just need to focus on you and heck with your parents and, man, I don't want to be around them, I don't want them listening to the show, I would just want you to consider something real quick. What's going to happen when your parents are still struggling with money, far into the retirement years, and they can no longer afford to take care of themselves? That's right. You better get that spare bedroom ready. So look, it's in everyone's best interest that you and your folks take advantage of the show. Does that sound fair? All right, awesome. So grab a cup of cocoa, gather around the radio. Let's go ahead and build an amazing life. After all, don't you deserve it? They say, it's funny, they say you have one life to live, but if you do it right, that should be all you need. So let's go into our first segment here before we get to our main topic. I always love sharing news. We're going to call this, what's the good news? And sometimes it's not always good news, but we're going to talk about it. So this is a hot off the press, breaking news. And I want to share this with you guys. This is some incredible stuff. So I don't know, do you guys want the good news or the bad news first? All right, that's the question. All right, let's start with the bad news. So here's an article from wealthmanagement.com from just a couple weeks ago. And they reported on a study done by Charles Schwab. It's a study called the Young Adult Financial Literacy Study. And here's what they said. According to the study, young adults age 16 to 25, so probably you listening right now, they expect to retire at age 60. That's 7 years before Social Security benefits start. But that's okay. But here's the crazy part. 53% of millennials and Generation Z believe their parents will leave them an inheritance. Wow. Isn't that interesting? Parents who are struggling with money, who don't have enough for themselves, 53%, over half of all the kids right now think their parents are going to leave them something behind. Boy, maybe so, but do you really want to count on that? And here's even crazier. 21% of the people between 1989 and 2007, only 21% of people received inheritances. So 53% think they're going to get one, but historically, only 21% actually got an inheritance. So be careful there, guys. Be careful, manage your expectations. And as a result of this optimism, young millennials have saved just 15% more than Generation Z when it comes to savings, but they have 169% more debt, right? So saved a little bit more, but they're in a lot more debt. And obviously, we know where that's coming from. That's student loans and credit cards. So we're going to talk about that at a later show as well, and how to understand them and how to use them properly. But here's the last one I'll share on this article. 1/3 of respondents said they skipped a meal because they didn't have enough money. These are millennials and Gen Z. This is your generation if you're listening to this, unless you're a parent, in which case you should be listening to this because of your kids. 1/3 of respondents said they skipped a meal because they didn't have enough money. So now when I was growing up, right, 150 years ago, I'm a pretty old guy here. When I was growing up, we used to see stuff on TV about, we used to give money to kids who were starving. But those kids were in Africa, right? It wasn't the United States, right? So hopefully we're not becoming a third world country here. But things like this kind of scare me. Now, so that's that article. I'm going to share one more with you, but this is a little bit better news. And this is very interesting. As of next year, right, if you're Generation Z, so if you're in your teenage years right now, in 2019, next year, you are going to be the largest generation. You're going to surpass the millennials. You're going to be the biggest generation out of everyone alive right now. Isn't that interesting? So the future is yours. I just want you to know that. And here's what it says about your generation. You guys are growing up with an entirely new set of tools, and Generation Z is 55% more likely to start a business. I love this, guys. This is fantastic. We're going to talk a lot about entrepreneurship on the show because it has such an amazing and such an important effect on money. But 55% more likely. And the reason is you guys get to grow up in an era where it's easier to start a business, where you don't need to have $2 million to start a McDonald's. You know how much that's how much it costs? It's $2 million to start a McDonald's. It's $1.5 million to start a Krispy Kreme. That's right. You want to sell donuts and soda for Krispy Kreme, it's going to cost you $1.5 million to open up a franchise, right? $250,000 for a Subway. You like those $5 footlongs. So we're in an age now where you don't need that much backing. You can start a business. You can make things happen and build something for yourself. So I'm very excited about that. I think that is awesome news. And I want you guys to take that to heart because you have a better chance than your parents did and your grandparents even. Okay, so let's get to our topic of the day, right? This is going to be fun. So our topic of the day is, are you guys sitting down? You ready for this? Nobody has a money problem. You like that? No, seriously though, what if nobody had a money problem? Now, I don't mean what if we all had lots of money, right? Therefore, we didn't stress about money, so everyone's rich and that's just awesome. Obviously, that can't be the case for various reasons, but I'm not talking about that. I mean, what if money weren't the actual problem? What if all the stress that our parents go through, all the stress that we're going through, especially for a millennial in college right now, what if all that stress about money has us focusing on the wrong thing? We'll come back to this. First, I want to talk about real quick, what is money, right? This is the first show. We're going to have fun with this. We're going to talk just what is money? You know, the Benjamins, bucks, bones, cash, clams, dinero, dough, greenbacks, loot, moolah, smackaroos, G's, whatever name you got for money. What is it? Because you know what? Everyone's working hard for it. Everyone seems to be fighting over it. But what the heck is it? So let me give you the textbook definition. We're going to go ahead and explain it. So basically, it's just a medium of exchange, right?